The story opens with Jennifer Walters, also known as She-Hulk, and Augustus Pug Pugliese working together at the law firm. They are testing a signal device that Pug created. Pug explains that he wants to repay Spider-Man for helping him once, and he activates the signal to call him. Spider-Man arrives, joking as he swings in, and asks why they called him. Pug introduces himself and says he wants to help Spider-Man take legal action against Jonah Jameson, who constantly publishes defamatory articles about him in the Daily Bugle to boost sales. Spider-Man listens and agrees to pursue the lawsuit. Meanwhile, at the Daily Bugle, Ditto, a shape-shifting messenger, arrives to deliver the lawsuit notice to Jonah. On the personal side, it is shown that no one knows Spider-Man's real identity except Mary Jane. Spider-Man talks happily to Mary Jane about the lawsuit, and she tells him he will win as Spider-Man, not as Peter Parker, and encourages him to use the opportunity to help people. Back at the law firm, Pug asks Jennifer to lead the case. She initially refuses, saying it's important for Pug to handle it himself, but he continues insisting, and she eventually agrees. Elsewhere, Scorpion goes to Smythe and asks for Spider Slayer robots, saying he wants to finish both Spider-Man and Jonah. Smythe agrees to help him. On the day of the hearing, Pug and Jennifer discuss the case. They are confident because John Jameson, Jonah's son, has agreed to testify against his father. John arrives and greets them. The hearing begins. Pug argues that Spider-Man is a hero who has saved countless lives, not a menace as Jonah claimed in the Bugle. John is called as the first witness and testifies that Spider-Man once saved his life. And NASA found no evidence supporting Jonah's accusation that Spider-Man planned the incident. A police officer testifies next, stating that Jonah tried to persuade him to arrest Spider-Man based on false claims that Spider-Man was actually Sandman, Electro, or Mysterio, and that each time Jonah was proven wrong. Jonah interrupts to say that Peter Parker supplied those photos, but the judge orders him to be quiet. Miss Brandt then testifies about a warehouse fire caused by Dr. Doom, explaining that Jonah told her to blame Spider-Man because it would make more money. Another Bugle staff member testifies that the newspaper spent half its advertising budget on Spider-Man, Menace, or Myth billboards, and that this boosted circulation by 300%. Spider-Man enters the courtroom as a witness. Jonah's lawyer objects to the mask, saying they can't confirm his identity, but Spider-Man responds that no one else would arrive swinging on webs. Pug uses an Avengers identification scanner to confirm that he is Spider-Man. Spider-Man explains that Jonah's accusations were false and that some events were misrepresented in ways that made him look like a villain. He jokes about Jonah hating him, and Jonah's lawyer accuses him of harassing Jonah by webbing him to chairs or hanging him. Spider-Man explains that those actions were responses to the Bugle's lies. The lawyer then accuses Spider-Man of being connected to the deaths of Captain George Stacy and Gwen Stacy, and of bringing the alien symbiote to Earth. Spider-Man finishes testifying and returns to Pug and Jennifer, who tell him he did well. But Spider-Man says his spider sense is warning him that enemies are coming. A speed messenger arrives to tell them that Scorpion and Spider Slayer robots are on their way to kill Spider-Man. Spider-Man and She-Hulk leave to stop them before they reach the court. They fight Scorpion together, and Scorpion says he wants revenge on Spider-Man for being trapped in his suit. They tell him that it was Jonah who was responsible for putting him in the suit. Scorpion then tries to go to the courthouse to kill Jonah, but She-Hulk stops him, saying Jonah is about to lose the case and will go free if Scorpion attacks him. Spider-Man arrives and knocks Scorpion out. Back in court, Pug argues that Jonah has ties to the supervillain community and gives examples, saying Jonah is the one who creates the problems while Spider-Man is the one who cleans them up. The first day of trial ends. Peter Parker later sits in a cafe reading an article criticizing the Bugle when Ditto arrives disguised as Mary Jane. Peter talks to her about the article, and Ditto then reveals his true form and informs Peter that he has been served a legal notice. On the next trial day, Pug questions Peter Parker and proves that Peter contributed to the defamation by providing staged or misleading Spider-Man photos. Peter realizes he could be held responsible along with Jonah. As Spider-Man, he goes to Jennifer and Pug and says he wants to settle. They approach Jonah and offer a settlement requiring both Jonah Jameson and Peter Parker to issue public apologies in chicken suits in front of the Daily Bugle. Jonah's lawyer advises him to accept to avoid paying millions, and Jonah agrees. The next day, both Jonah and Peter publicly hand out apologies in chicken suits while Jennifer and Pug watch and laugh.